My name is Rainey Modecki. My group members are Brittany Pinter, Evan Murhut, and Chloe Miller. And our project topic is modern farming, innovations and effects of GMOs, corn subsidies, and solution and alternatives. In today's world, almost every aspect of our lives is being enhanced with the use of technology. Even a process as old as farming is being changed with modern innovations and advancements. The use of genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, have increased in farming since the late 1990s, and corn subsidies have significantly impacted the use of corn in farming processes in recent years. We live in an interconnected world where the way we interact with nature and farming can cause an array of consequences, and the effects of these forms of modern agriculture processes will be explained throughout the video. The food we are consuming and the way modern agriculture techniques are affecting the environment and the food we eat are evolving with the use of organic farming. Chloe will introduce the first modern farming innovation that we will talk about today. A potential solution to these modern innovations and their negative effects is organic farming. Organic farming is an agricultural production system used to produce food and fiber, but it relies on techniques such as crop rotation, green manure, composting, and biological pest control. More specifically, from the lecture, organic agriculture uses no synthetic fertilizers or pesticides, so it is much healthier, and it can be profitable for farmers, and the reduced chemical pollution and soil degradation is definitely a significant plus. There are some drawbacks though. Transitioning takes a lot of time and a lot of money, and the food cost is about 10% to 30% higher to consumers. Organic agriculture is growing, and now 3/4 of Americans buy at least occasionally organic made foods. This concludes our project on modern farming innovations. Hopefully now you'll pay more attention to the meat and produce you are selecting on your next shopping trip.
According to the World Health Organization, a GMO is an organism whose DNA has been altered in a non-natural way. Genetically modified plants are usually changed to be insect-resistant, virus-resistant, and herbicide-tolerant. With these changes come some potentially problematic environmental changes. There are many toxic chemicals and pesticides and herbicides that are used in GMOs. GMOs may be toxic to non-target organisms such as bees and butterflies. Bees are hugely important in pollination of many crops, but are unfortunately extremely endangered due to modern agricultural techniques. Birds are also at risk for pesticides as well. They work as biological control agents and pollinators again like bees. Long-term effects of GMOs are not certain. Pests that are targeted by these agricultural methods can adapt to pesticides and herbicides, in addition to the DNA changes in genetically modified plants to make them resistant. This means they will not always be effective, but their toxic legacies will remain. Evidence also suggests that small genetic changes in plants may produce even larger ecological shifts, meaning that there is potential for GMOs to become persistent and weedy in agricultural conditions. Since they are modified to be resistant to some modern agriculture techniques, this can also mean that invasive in natural settings, where GMOs of course do not actually occur. Finally, biodiversity, while it is critical in all ecosystems and to the sustainability of species, is put at risk by genetically modified organisms. When genetically modified crops are planted, generally in a monocrop fashion, many heritage seeds are no longer used. The nature of genetically modified organisms means fewer flowers, and therefore less nectar for pollinators. Toxins are released into the soil through plants' routines that mean fewer soil bacteria, which are integral to healthy soil for plants to grow without the use of chemical fertilizers. Toxic residues are left in the soil of genetically modified crops. Nutrients are not returned to the soil in monocrop fashions and form GMO foods, meaning that soil is becoming dry and void of all nutrients. In addition to soil issues, the irrigation used to grow genetically modified foods naturally carries all of these pollutions into water sources and into the air. This exposes different bacteria, insects, and animals to the same problems. Corn is is the top crop for subsidy payments. Subsidy programs give farmers extra money for their crops and guarantee a price floor. This means that the government is paying farmers to grow high amounts of corn. This has caused a surplus of corn, which farmers have been forced to find an alternate use for. While corn can be a very useful crop because it is very versatile, it is indirectly having a negative effect on our health. Farmers are using corn to feed their livestock, which makes them fatter quicker for slaughtering. According to the Healthy Theory article, 75 years ago it took a cow 4 to 5 years to reach a weight of 1,200 pounds. Today, cattle can be slaughtered at just 14 to 16 months of age, thanks to massive amounts of corn, protein supplements, antibiotics, and growth hormones. Unhealthy cows means unhealthy meat. So switching cows from grass to grain or corn puts more money in the beef industry's pockets and cheaper meat on the supermarket shelves. Corn-fed cattle are prone to serious health conditions such as bloating, diarrhea, ulcers, liver disease, and a weakened immune system. So what does this mean for us? Well, there are hidden costs to cheap food. Corn-fed cattle are linked to preventable chronic diseases such as heart disease and diabetes. More than half of the $2.5 trillion spent in healthcare goes to treating such diseases. By having corn as our top subsidy, it is forcing us to spend more of our healthcare on these issues that occur at a higher rate because of the corn-fed cattle. Some solutions: we can change government policies so that corn isn't the top crop, or we can feed animals grass and insects, which Evan will talk about more.
In today's society, the human population is at a rise, resulting in food scarcity all over the world and less land to grow crops such as grains and corn, into feeding livestock we consume. According to the International Feed Industry and Federation, they predict that we are to be pro-use of insects instead of feeding our livestock corn. With insects being a replacement feed/meat of the future, not only will it provide an alternative to feeding cattle swine, but also saving land mass as well, including a substantial amount of vegetation and meats in raising those insect farms. Studies have showed these insect farms have their perks. Farming insects is far more beneficial over feeding our livestock corn for many reasons. The water usage for raising insects is far less than watering acres and acres of field at a time. Insects are attracted to small, close quarter spaces, meaning you can raise thousands in a small place compared to cattle that takes a large amount of space, resulting in E. coli or other diseases that get into your meats. Now, not only is this a solution for cattle, but land mass saved also for humans as well. All over the world, people are starting to use insects as an alternative protein, and this will result in much more sustainable environment and agriculture for future generations.